I'll tell you a little bit of a story. A friend of mine once got a job offer. A huge raise, better title, everything about it made sense. He showed me the numbers. He was like, oh, here's the salary, here's the bonus, career trajectory, all looks great. And honestly, it was hard to find a reason not to take it on paper. But he kept thinking there's something doesn't feel right. Not that he was scared or confused, just felt like something wasn't adding up. That feeling ended up mattering much more than the figures he saw on the paper, and this is what I want to talk about in this video. The weird feeling when rational decisions don't sit completely emotionally right within us. So we're taught that good financial decisions are supposed to be logical, calm, clear, and even emotionless. Yet, if you just gather enough information, the right answer will just sort of reveal itself. But neurological scientists noticed something about this, that when people lose access to emotional processing from, brain injury, illness, they don't become like super hyper rational. They become a little bit stuck. They analyze endlessly and still don't have that ability to choose, because emotion isn't actually noise. Emotion can highlight what actually matters. It's the thing that tells your brain, choose this because it feels good. Even taking something, for example, like risk tolerance. Although it may appear like a mathematical calculation on the surface, risk tolerance isn't about math. It's about how much uncertainty a person can live with before it starts affecting sleep, health, or relationships. So emotion isn't something layered on top of logic, it's already included within it. So what is the gut feeling really about? That friend that I mentioned with the job offer that couldn't explain what didn't feel right, decided, okay, the company's great, it looks good, but something from the interview kept cropping up in his mind. It turned out the culture was brutal, the hours were worse than advertised, the turnover was constant. He hadn't known any of that really because it wasn't spoken about. But his brain had picked up from the energy within the room, the vibes, I guess you could call it, that some answers were vague. The process was rushed, and that's usually our intuition picking up on things. It's not magic, it's just a recognition of patterns happening quietly. The brain is compressing our long-term experience into a feeling before it can turn into words. But intuition isn't always right. It's wisdom, and sometimes it's an old fear wearing a new face, which is where things can get a little bit interesting. So what happens when these two systems sort of collide and disagree? It's a moment where on paper the decision may look right and internally something just doesn't feel right, or the opposite. Something feels exciting, alive, expansive, but numbers say this doesn't make much sense. What's actually happened here isn't a conflict between intelligence and emotion. It's a conflict between two types of intelligence. One is optimizing outcomes, pay, whatever, and the other is tracking the meaning. What impact will that have on my life? One's saying, does this work? Whereas the other is saying, what does this do to my life? And neither question is wrong. They're just incomplete on their own, and that tension, that discomfort of not knowing which voice to trust or to listen to is usually a signal that is something important that isn't measured yet. And integration can help us sort of navigate that. So what I've noticed both personally and watching other people is that the most peaceful decisions don't come from choosing logic over intuition or intuition over logic. They come from letting both talk longer, not forcing a decision, just staying curious about it. Why does this feel heavy? What feels exciting about this? And what future is in each part reacting to? Sometimes the answer changes the decision. Sometimes it changes how decisions get made. And sometimes nothing really changes externally, except the person feels steadier about the decision, which turns out to matter more than what a spreadsheet can actually predict. This video wasn't really about money. It's about how often we're taught to split ourselves in half to make decisions, logic on one side and meaning on the other. But real decisions don't actually happen that way. They happen when structure and feelings start pointing in the same direction. So if you're in the middle of a decision right now, you're not stuck, you're just mid-conversation. And that's usually where the good answers come from. Stay tuned for more.